Okay, here we have an orthographic drawing that includes perspective. What we have here is a vertical line from the North Pole to Polaris on the left side. The bottom line is from the North Pole to the equator. I drew all the latitudes from 10 degrees to 80 degrees. They were all 1 centimeter apart, equaling 690 miles. So they're all equal distance of 69 miles per millimeter, or 690 miles per centimeter. I've drawn lines at the correct angles from each of those latitudes. The angle you would see Polaris from at those latitudes. So at 80 degrees latitude, I have a steep angle up to Polaris. So I would be looking sharply higher, right? And then we move out 690 miles more towards the equator, and then I would be looking at a 70-degree angle, which would be a little bit lower on that vertical line up from the North Pole to Polaris. Then we move out to 60, and it would appear at a 60-degree angle, which would be a little bit lower on that vertical line from the North Pole to Polaris, which is exactly what we would see with perspective. Now I go all the way to the equator and I got a line from 1 degree, which you would see very, very low on the horizon, just like we see in this graph. The latitude lines work. They were simply perspective lines from Polaris to the ground or to the observer. How the observer sees the angle from his latitude to Polaris. Things, when you move away from them, will appear lower and lower and lower on the horizon the further you get away. So when they did the latitudes, basically they just moved away from Polaris, and when it dropped 1 degree in the sky, they would mark off 1 degree of latitude. So when they moved out to 80, they were 690 miles away from the North Pole, and that's where they would see it at 80-degree angle. They move another 690 miles and they see it at a 70-degree angle. They move another 690 miles and they see it at a 60-degree angle. Each of those angles will appear lower on that vertical line from the North Pole up to Polaris, which is exactly what we see happening in the real world. This is a perspective orthographic drawing, which some people said you can't do, but I think I've done it. It accurately represents the latitudes with the correct angles that you would view Polaris at from those latitudes.